Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're going to take a look at the best Monotype team for the ground typing. And today we have a bit of an interesting team because it's not really the Pokemon that are in the top list, I think, of this one. We're going to have Toadscroll in the lead. Toadscroll is going to be very important, as Toadscroll is going to be good against all of the other ground type, especially all of the water type Pokemon that you usually don't really want to face as a ground type Pokemon. And also, we're going to have access to the move Wrap here, which is actually really cool. And here, by the way, against Fortress, we actually resist every single hit, so I can just stay in for a little bit, get all the energy, and now swap out into my own Quagsire, which still has a very fantastic matchup here against the opponent. They're forced to go for Sand Tomb, like still every fast move here, every electric type is going to have some struggles here today anyway. But we're going to be in a very solid position here for ourselves, as you're going to be able to go for another Aqua Tail, knock them out, no chance for them. And in comes the Guzzlord again, where I have all the reps stored on my other Pokemon, and I can't go for that, I guess. And so, yeah, Guzzlord itself can be a bit tricky for this team, but I can now go for the rep spam as the first move is coming in. This is going to allow us to get the shield. We can go for another one. Of course, could have been also like something Earth Power, which we would learn on this Pokemon, but because we have so much ground type coverage anyway here, it makes no sense to really go for more ground type moves. To be fair, actually, we have just ground types. We don't really have the best ground type coverage. We have only fast move here of Mud Slap in the lead. We have a Mud Shot, as I'll say so, but the rest is actually more coverage moves for what we have to face. And this is the thing as well, our lead is going to be very bad, by the way, here against Charjabug. We won already. Our lead is very bad against those flying type Pokemon. We have Quagsire with Stone Edge here in order to deal with them, as well as the Steelix with Thunderfang in order to deal with them as well. That's kind of the idea behind this one. Here, we're going to be up against the Ninetales. They're, of course, going to have the option here to go for the Weather Ball Fire, which is going to do some solid damage against us. But again, we kind of can play out the two-shield scenario for this specific matchup. And we should be in a very alright position. As a Wrap is coming through here, I'm just going to catch the move. At this point, it's going to be guaranteed the Weather Ball Fire, which you can take. And now the opponent is in farming range for all three of our Pokemon. In comes Zumroll, where we can go for the Stone Edge. We have Thunderfang still stored as well. Like, Thunderfang is a fast move still on our Steelix as well. As I just going to go for the Aqua Tail. This just allows me here now to weaken them up a little bit. I try to catch the move onto my Steelix, because usually we're actually alright with the charge moves here from the Zumroll. Especially see here already the Ice Beam coming in. It's very like the Ice Beam player off, so there's no real reason for us to use a shield in this specific scenario, as the opponent is not doing that much damage. In comes Celio, and this is the main reason why we actually have Steelix here is Celio. Why? Because Celio is going to be a Pokemon where, yeah, like, you're gonna see it quite often, and it's going to be Ice type. It's doing double super effective damage against our lead. It is very strong against just generally basically every ground type Pokemon. And this is also why, for example, I don't have Gligar in there, which makes sense on paper. Gligar is a very good answer in order to deal with like those grass type Pokemon, for example, which we generally would be struggling with this team here. But there's so many more Ice type Pokemon currently around that I kind of needed to play a little bit around here. As you will see, there is going to be now still the issue that Celio is going to be very strong, and Celio is going to be able to go for the Surf, and Celio is going to be able to knock us out. And so we are going to be 1-1 with this team. Celio, while we try to prepare for it, it's still going to be a very tough Pokemon for us to deal with in today's video. But we are most of the way done with this series. Actually, only have one more type to record, which is of course the Steel type, as we went in chronological order. It's currently the 13th, so yeah, we still have a few more days left of the season. I hope I can get all the videos out before the season ends. I am not too sure about this yet at this point, I have to admit, so I hope I can get everything done. But yeah, thanks so much for the support on the series. I know that the series, of course, didn't really spark the interest of many people, which makes sense, as it's very specific. But I always kind of wanted to do something like this, like a longer challenge series on this channel. I've never been able to do it because I did this as like a full-time job, basically, and I don't have that anymore, which is fantastic, which just allows me to do what I want to do, and I hope you appreciate it as well. Starting next season, things are going to be going a little bit more towards what I was doing usually, with more top team videos, with more top just team videos, basically, like where I actually play better like teams, not just Monotype teams the entire time, of course. So more like the standard way I usually have my content. Here it's going to be interesting, by the way, for this one, because we have to really see on where we have our shield. because I'm not too sure if that Dragon is still gonna have an Aqua Tail. If it has an Aqua Tail, we're in a very tough position. As long as we don't need to shield here again. And this is going to be, I think, just another Centum, so we should be fine. And with that, we should be grand anyway, because what we have here is we just have our Crunch, that should knock them out. And with this, yeah, we are going to be able to win this battle, as we can just farm them down. Good game. We can move on to the next opponent. Mightyena, a bit tricky generally, but like Mightyena is very difficult for, I think, most teams to deal with. It's a very, very strong Pokemon. And I will use a shield here, it's just a Poison Fang, so like, it is whatever. But I can go for the Seed Bomb now, try to get the shield from the opponent, but I kind of want to still keep my lead alive, so I'm going to sub out now, try to snipe them with the Aqua Tail, which is now a CMP tie. That's alright for me. I could use a shield here as well, again on the Crunch. Crunch would have done so much damage, and so now we're either gonna get the knockout here, or like they're gonna use our final shield. I'm actually kind of alright with that, so like I'm not too sad about this. They reveal that they have the Gastrodon though in the back, and this is going to be a bit difficult, because Gastrodon would be a Pokemon that we need to kind of deal with now, as we have a very weak spot for this Pokemon later on, like we have a big weakness there. Earth Power comes through, and I have my... Okay, this is looking a little bit better. I have my Steelix now up against the Tinkaton, which is going to be great. I have 2 Seed Bombs stored for that Gastrodon, which is going to be alright. And now, I just don't know if I'm going to be able to win this matchup with my Steelix. As we saw there already, they get the debuff immediately, which is quite unfortunate. It's a 50% chance. But getting this early means they're going to do more damage over a long period of time. And of course, now we are in a position where the Gigaton Hammer actually does a lot of damage. I have the move stored here, but can I stop out in time? I can stop out. I still have a little bit of health left on my other Pokemon. Seed Bomb is coming in. This is allowing us to get the shield. Seed Bomb is going to come through at the CMP tie. Can we survive a Body Slam? We cannot. And so sadly, I think we're at now 2-2 with this team. So not as ideal, but also not as bad. Especially as we are, while doing those battles against like basically the top tier players of the world, so like I'm not too sad about it personally, I have to say. But of course we kind of want to be a bit better there as well. We're going to have, you know, Lapras up against us, which is generally not a bad matchup at all. I have yeah, here the Seed Bomb coming through, getting the shield. That's okay. We can use a shield again if I wanted to, but I'm actually going to just take the Sparkling Area and I swap out straight into my Steelix, which was such a mistake now at the end of the day. Because I didn't know, of course, what they wanted to do. But even now looking at it, I should have most likely just went into my Say-Sub of Quagsire, and I think it would have been grand. But, yeah, we are going to be in a position here where I can just maybe shield even if I wanted to. Let's see what we're going to do. I'm actually going to shield just in order to get their shield, because we have them now as a CMP type. I have to be really, really careful here, as the opponent is going to be able to let the move go. I can try to snipe them. This is just going to knock out our Toadscrew, though. That was better if I just would have stayed in with my Steelix at the end of the day, actually. But now my only hope is to hopefully win with Quagsire. In the back is Tinkaton. Okay, that's still possible. We have to see. Like, we just can't give up straight away here. The Aqua Tail is coming in. We're gonna get the shield early. We can go for another Aqua Tail. And now we just have to kind of maneuver around whatever the opponent's Tinkaton wants to do here, as I have the Gigaton Hammer, which of course does a lot of damage, which you will see here already. It's going to two-shot us, but I think they're actually still locked into this matchup, and so I can go for another Aqua Tail. And now all Pokemon from the opponent are, I think, very, very low, and they swap out into the Ninetales. I am going to be able to get them low. Let's see what they're going to do next. Are they going to go into the Lapras? They go into the Lapras. I can still reach that Psychic Fangs, which is amazing to knock them out. Goodbye Lapras. I have 1 HP left, and Steelix is just carrying, knocking out every single Pokemon. And at least we got a 3-2 here, which got us up to like 2,900. At this point, by the way, that was like top of the leaderboards. It's a few weeks ago now. But, yeah, Tinkaton is going to be up against us next, which of course is a fantastic matchup for ourselves. I'm still going to use a shield, as of course the Gigaton Hammer is going to be, yeah, something that is just going to do way too much damage against us. But as we will see, we're going to have the swap out now into the Quagsire, the swap out into the Jellicent. I'm actually totally alright with that. I have still very nice neutral play against Jellicent, like it's really not the worst matchup here whatsoever. That you're going to use a shield against our Stone Edge, which is grand. I can just go for another one. I have Seed Bombs stored already for them. I'm in a really okay position, especially even if I'm not going to be able to succeed against the opponent here with my lead, basically. I am going to be able to still have the Thunderfang later on, so like I'm actually really good in terms of my positioning right now here. The Seed Bomb is going to knock them out though. In comes their Altaria as the final Pokemon, which shows us just now that this is going to be a very difficult matchup for ourselves. We get the debuff immediately on us again, which is really unfortunate, because now the Gigaton Hammer comes through and does so much more damage, and now we are in a position where they can maybe even farm us down. So I go for a Crunch here, not just get the damage out immediately. Hindsight, okay, we get the defense drop, which is great, but I actually don't reach another Psychic Fangs. So if I just went for the Psychic Fangs as well, I would have been in a way better position, because I would have been able to get even 2 moves up against them, and now I'm in a position where I have Altaria up against my Toadsquirrel and not really have anywhere to go with this. So if I actually went for the Psychic Fangs, I'm fairly certain I would have been able to win this battle, because the opponent would have been at -2 now as well, which means they would have not been able to take my charge move there, and I would have been able to stop out earlier as well, which, yeah, just generally speaking, if I just went for Psychic Fangs, I would have most likely won this. Alright, Corsola. We're currently 3-3 with this team, so like, it's alright, but like, it hasn't been the greatest. But to be fair, I really enjoyed Toadsquirrel with this team. I remember that as well. Like, I really enjoyed Toadsquirrel. I just feel like the ground typing, it doesn't really have a great balance right now. Ground type is fantastic in the current meta, don't get me wrong, but it all does kind of the same stuff, and it's all kind of countered with the same Pokemon. So yeah, like, you kind of don't win anything here by having a triple ground type team, unless you want to be trying to overcome the opponent by just, yeah, spamming them with a certain type of Pokemon, which generally Monotype teams is what they kind of do. But in this case, I mean, it's just kind of like they all do the same stuff. You have like the Mud Boys, you have maybe some Mud Slappers, and that's basically it. Like, you don't have much more. And so we have a Mud Slapper in the lead that is a bit more unique. We have a Mud Boy there in the back that's a bit more neutral. And here, by the way, we have Crunch for the course line, which is kind of ideal. It's kind of the situation that you wanted to see here. But like, we tried to make the ground typing as versatile as we could, and I feel like we did a solid job with that. But it is very difficult, I think, to make like a very strong team with this, which is kind of funny. Like, it's still a good type so far, don't get me wrong, and I think we're gonna have quite a few more nice wins, especially if they're going to be so weak to Toadsquirrel in the back. A Seed Bomb is coming through, doing so much damage against the opponent. Wait comes in, and like, this is the thing as well here. Like, they might be able to still knock out our Toadsquirrel with a Gastrodon now, but we put them into a position where our Steelix even just needs to go for a Psychic Fangs, and we will win this battle. And we had already a lot of energy here. Psychic Fangs comes through. This should be enough to knock them out. And so we're going to be 4-3, which again just showcases this team still kind of works. And I find it, by the way, very much fascinating on how good this team actually, or like the Monotype challenge has been so far, and it is actually going to continue as well in terms of how strong those teams were. Because I actually don't have a singular team in the lowest tier, and spoiler alert, I don't think this is going to change. I'm on the last, basically type so far, and there is no type that's going to go most likely into the bottom tier, which was like, I think 2, 1, or 0 wins, which like all of them in like the 10 games that I give them, all managed to be way better than this. And like, there were only just the tiny ones that were like in the 3 to 4 win category, and most of them were actually in the top tier category, which is kind of interesting. So just generally something I didn't really expect for the series, which is why we do those series as well, just to test stuff out. But again, I'm excited for the next upcoming season. We don't know any information towards it yet, but it can only be better than having Great League available the entire time, which makes every other cup completely irrelevant because nobody's gonna play it anyway. It kind of really killed the vibe for me of this season. Here, okay, I have to go for Seed Bomb. They do generate energy faster than we do. I do think we are kind of in a position where we're kind of screwed here. I think they can just... Oh, I actually get the free fast move in here, though. That kind of changes stuff. They maybe are forced to catch now. Yeah, they try to catch the move. I am still going to be forced to go for a charge move. So, yeah, I would need to catch now their move again, which I don't think I... Okay, never mind. Maybe I can do that. We definitely can do that. Surf comes through against the Quagsire, and then comes the Seed Bomb, and this is going to be a good game. Basically a perfect play by me. We are 5-3 with this team, so we might be able to still get into the second highest tier with the ground typing, but it all depends on how the next few matchups, the next 2 matchups are gonna play out. As we will see here though, there is going to be now their opponent's Florges, and they use a shield straight away. Florges itself is okay for me. Like, they're gonna go for chilling water basically the entire time, and that's okay for me. Like, it is what it is. I can just go ahead though and let the move go. Disarming Voice actually reveals that they don't have coverage for Quagsire. Good to know. I can let the move go. Like, they don't have Trailblaze, which is actually fantastic information. As now they are going to be in a position where, yeah, I have now the Quagsire up against, okay, the Blastoise. This is totally okay. Against Blastoise, I'm going to be able to go for the Stone Edge, and as you see, it does some sort of damage. I will shield this move up now because I can go for another Stone Edge, and with that, I put them into position, or I can just try to actually swap out and go for the Seed Bomb, as I Fat Finger and just didn't press the button correctly. This is actually going to be very difficult now because like this was really impactful. I would have really liked to get the damage off there because now I have to use my energy here and I'm not aligned with the Pokemon I want to be aligned with. So like I was like, that's really, really tough on us. But Orcotail is going to get shielded. I have another Orcotail coming through, which is going to knock them out though. They weren't really aware of all the energy they had already. And with that, there's going to be a Stunfisk in the back, and luckily they're going to forfeit. My Pokemon in the back would have been bad against it, but I had still a shield left, so that was the right decision by them. We would have won the battle 6-3 so far, which means the ground typing is actually one of the better types of the series so far. And also, it already shows what stage of the tier list it's going to be in. It's going to be in the second part, of course, because the second part is 6-7, which is literally the best meme anyway. But yeah, it's basically 6-7 wins, and we are already at 6 wins, so like we can only get onto the higher end of this list. But we see on how this battle against the Goodra is gonna go. Goodra already a little bit lower, which is fantastic. We kind of put them into a position where we can farm them down. But they're going to the Licky now, and I hope they don't run Earthquake. Earthquake is a move that I've seen quite often, like at least recently on the Licky. I kind of would like to try to use my Steelix here against this Pokemon, so hopefully they don't have Earthquake. Earthquake reduce. Okay, yeah, there we go. It does have Earthquake. Earthquake does super effective damage against us, of course. And there's no point of me using a shield here. Like if it's another Earthquake, it's another Earthquake. But I can at least utilize now my Quagsire. This is a mistake. I should have went for Stone Edge. Orcotail is not enough from this range. I can tell you that already. Exactly. Bit of a mistake there, but I still maybe can play it out. We're happy the Stunfisk coming in. Like, that's not too bad. Like, yeah, they're just forfeit. Alright. So, yeah, as we're gonna see there as well, we had 3-2 and 4-1 with this team, which is really good. I can't catch a Gibble though. Like, please let me know in the comment section on how to do that. But we are ending up at like 2,941 here, which was like really, really top tier on the leaderboards. Of course, the team itself, though, only going to be to the 8 here. But look at this tier list so far. Like, it's basically just really good types, which is kind of funny. But it's going to be it. See you then. Bye-bye.